guys, welcome back to another episode, and this one is a long time coming. I've got one, you're not behind the camera, so welcome to the front of the podcast again, Miss Capra.
I mean, I'm usually on the air as well, but over in the corner.
Get in the hole. And then we got Miss Allie Gilbert. Welcome.
Thank you.
You've been on before, but it's like way before we even called it what we call it now.
I don't even know how many. Like, it's all a blur.
Like you did. Years. It was we did the ED talks, remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With other people.
So welcome to the Always Forward podcast. This is like number 26, 7.
Something along those lines. We'll know when we post it.
Yeah, we know when we post it. Yeah.
But this is the Alley section.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. We spell it the right way. ALI, not to be confused with Ali.
Yeah, you're not Mr. Ali.
No, I'm not Mr. Ali.
Neither is your husband.
My Uber and Lyft says Allison, and it has my picture. I don't understand.
When they show up, they think Charlie. They're like, "Are you Mr. Ali?"
No. I actually had one Uber driver told me I spelled it wrong, and I was like, "That's interesting that you think that." Now, granted, I spell Allison with 2 L's and Allie with 1, but I'm allowed to spell my name however I want.
Fact.
You can be whatever color of unicorn Barbie you want to be.
I can do whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was adamant I spelled it wrong, and I was like, "All right, man, I don't know what you want me to tell you."
All right, let's kick this thing off with the most embarrassing story ever.
You're gonna tell me one?
No, you're gonna tell us one.
You put me on the spot like that. You really expect me to remember?
I can give you one if you want to take a minute to think.
Yeah, you do that.
Okay.
You gonna give one?
I can give one if it's gonna be
Am I involved?
No.
Oh, good.
Okay, so this was high school actually, and I was like completely. So everybody who knows me knows I do videography and photography and all that stuff. So I was a videographer and photographer in high school when it just kind of started and came out.
What was the name of your show?
A Jagged Edge TV.
Jagged Edge
of
TV.
course.
Yeah.
And I was the anchor person on the TV, and then you could rent the cameras out and take them home and go shoot footage and then come back in and edit. So I had all the cameras checked out, like both the film and the video cameras and the microphones and everything. So I had like 3 things of gear. I was late for school. I was running down the hallway with all these bags. I had on heels and a dress.
Literally nothing has changed in your life since high school. Got it.
Late for work, late for whatever, like trying to film. So I was running down the hallways in my dress, with my cameras, and trying to get, because if you were late to bring the camera back, you were like on the docket to like not check the camera out again. So I was like, fuck, I gotta get down the hall. So I'm racing down the hallway and the bell rings and I'm like, shit, and like kind of startled me and I tripped and fell, right? But I had both camera bags over and a backpack on. And so like my hands weren't free. And when I fell, I just like face planted because I couldn't even like catch myself properly. Mm-hmm. And my dress flew over my head and I had a thong on. And so I'm just laying face planted down in the hallway in front of all the lockers with everybody looking at me with my ass hanging out. And I couldn't even like reach back and pull my dress down because the camera bags were right there. And everybody was like, holy shit. So I'm like, help. That was my most embarrassing moment.
That was your most embarrassing
Face
moment?
down, ass up, high school.
Damn.
That's probably it.
High school is embarrassing.
Yeah.
All of it.
As
the
a
whole
whole.
thing. That's why I only did 2 years and I called it quits. I said this
wish
isn't
I
for
could
me.
have done that.
Okay, so what's yours now?
I don't remember. I've had so many embarrassing things. I can't pick one.
Just pick one.
You don't embarrass easily, though. I mean, you talk about boners and like regular.
Yeah, I embarrass other people.
Yes.
Like very easily.
Okay, here's a good one. Most time you've embarrassed Charlie.
Oh my God, it's like countless. Countless.
You say countless, but give one story. People want to know. People want to hear this.
He's very, how do we describe him? Logical and conservative in the sense that he's a medical professional, so he doesn't talk crazy, as he would describe me. Calls me very crass, and I will use, the word.
He's constantly trying to calm you down, isn't he? And get you like. You can't talk about that stuff, Allie. You can't.
Oh, like when I got banned off social?
Yeah.
Oh my God. He was like, you can't do that. I told you. Like, you can't say those things. Like, you think that you're more special because you can use those words. And I was like, but people find it funny. It doesn't matter what people find it. Like, yeah. So saying those things and I'll draw penises in the house on Post-its and stick them up around the house. And we have I have 2 penis pillows, like those body pillows that are all over Instagram that people send me. And I sleep with it because I like hugging something at night. It just happens to be the perfect size. That's what she
Shape.
said. And shape, also what she said, for sleeping. And I'll put it in the middle and he'll be like, get that thing away from me. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about just random penises being all over my house.
Right. Oh, and I buy random dildos and stuff just to stick on the wall.
They're cheap, right?
They are cheap.
Yeah.
Butt plugs that it's just funny to see his reaction. The butt plugs are the biggest ones you can buy. It looks like a dog toy. So that's what he thought I ordered. And a collar and so yeah, I guess I embarrassed the crap out of him by ordering random sex toys.
Just huge butt plugs. You're like, yeah, I got this. This is new. This is for you, actually.
Yeah. And he's like, where does it go? I'm like, where do you think? Like for our wedding, for the garter toss thing or whatever, when he goes under the dress, I said to one of my friends, go buy the biggest butt plug you can find. And he bought it. This thing was like a cannon. So Charlie pulls it out and he had no idea what it was. But the drag queens, they knew what it was. And they come running over and they're like, that's mine and you stole it, Mr. Weingroff. It was so funny. He was like, he gets embarrassed, but I think he just shakes his head.
You're either keeping him very young or aging him drastically. Either there's no in the middle.
I think it's the latter.
Okay.
Because then Disney will keep him very young. So he has to balance it out. But yeah, I guess I don't embarrass easily. I don't, I'm embarrassed, I guess, when, I don't know, if people point stuff out that I didn't know I did and then I fucked up, I'm like, oh, that's embarrassing. But,
yeah, but it's not funny. So it's
that's not funny.
No.
So I don't know. It's really hard to think.
Falling down and having your ass up in high school, that's kind of funny.
It sucks, but it's not that funny either. It just sucks.
I've done stuff like that, like being a trainer. I was wearing shorts one day and didn't wear underwear, and apparently there's a big hole right in the crotch of my shorts, and nobody told me.
Because they were enjoying the view.
Just labia hanging out.
Hanging out, yep.
Oh, cool.
Everybody's like, dudes, did you see Allie today? No, but did you see Allie today?
Did you see her? The other day I sat on chocolate in my car in these pants, which are hot pink. No one told me, on my ass.
Just big
chocolate bar
shit on your ass. Yeah.
And I'm like, if I saw a woman with I don't know, maybe she didn't know it was chocolate or I don't know. I'd be like, hey, listen, I don't know what happened, but you got some chocolate.
You either set in chocolate or you shit yourself, and either way it needs to be handled.
Yeah, somebody should point it out to you. That was not a fart, just so you know.
I would say, for those that don't know, we're all been longtime friends since.
I think 7 years. I was trying to think of that.
Yeah.
I was like, I think it's 6 or 7 years.
And the way that I found you is, you know this, but for the listeners, Josh and I went to the annual TSAT conference way back in the day, and
you were a guest speaker, and
I was not.
No, he was.
And she was.
Yeah.
And I saw on the thing, it was, I don't remember exactly, but it was optimization of testosterone within athletes or something like that. And this is back when you were solely pretty much golf fitness.
Yeah.
And anyways, so I was like, well, I definitely have to check that out. And because it's something that Josh and I have been talking about for a long time. And we did. And we were like, she needs to come speak to veterans. Which you had never done before. You had no connection to that community whatsoever, right?
No. You were my intro to that.
That's wild.
Yeah.
He called me from his break and was like, this was one of the best talks I've ever heard. We have to get her out there.
No shit. That's cool.
He loved it.
Which I didn't know. That talk was very professional.
Thank you.
Like
not crass.
Not the normal, your normal.
Well,
talk.
and you had
the
morning wood guy was a rolled up
that was
tree.
As wild as I got.
That was as wild as it got, right?
Yeah.
Well, and just for people listening, it's just a piece of wood, right?
It's a tree, like a cartoonized tree.
Yeah. And it just says morning wood.
It says morning wood, holding a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Whereas today was the giantest boner I could find under a sheet, and I
You killed it today,
photoshopped.
by the way.
Thank you.
Killed it. I don't know if it's been a while since I've listen to you speak.
It's been a while though. It has. Yeah.
It has. But you've gotten a ton better, or you just like let her rip today.
I did let it rip, but also like I think you have only seen me speak aside from Raider at NSCA.
Yeah.
Where I have to follow a very strict, not censored, but
so lame
censored language protocol.
It's so lame.
Yeah. So it's not the general alley talk. Today was a super alley talk. Like I let it rip with cursing and like, cause you guys are my people. Like,
yeah,
you appreciate that. I don't know.
Veterans do. Veterans don't.
Yeah.
Like if you get too clinical or you get too serious, it's just it's
boring.
It's boring. You don't reach them.
No.
You have to talk about boners and sex and
The stuff that they care about.
They said they were measuring their taint at the table.
I knew. I wanted to interrupt you and be like, well, I guess everybody's going to be measuring their taint tonight.
I forget who came up to me and said like, yeah, we're measuring it. And I was like, fuck, I forgot that joke. Like no one knew I was supposed to say it, but I usually drop the line of like, well, I know what you guys are going to do later on because you're not measuring your fingers this time.
I definitely measured my taint.
And we measured the babies.
And we measured the babies. I don't know.
We
Googled
healthy taint length. I put in that measurement and then I measured it for him.
I was like well over.
He was really good, and so was the baby.
And the baby was too. Yeah.
You guys are safe then.
Yeah. I was worried. I was like, because based off your slide. So real quick, let's talk about that so that people understand. Like we're just talking about taint. So explain what is happening and what that is and why it's a
healthy taint length.
Yeah.
Go.
I call BTE big taint energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. BTE
I'm gonna use that.
BTE is where we go.
The terminology is anogenital distance, which AG distance. I'm like, okay, it can be associated with like people's grundles now. Or the chode or the choach, like those were the different.
That was a
nicknames.
90s term.
Yeah, I remember that.
Chode. Yeah.
Yep. But for context, for those listening, people or men are being born with more feminine traits lately because sperm production has decreased by 60% since the 70s.
And I think at this point, it's so visually obvious that people can't even deny it anymore. Like you just go walk around and you're like, what? Like men are not manly anymore.
No,
especially with the youth. Yeah.
To the point where like, someone looking like you is now abnormal. And we were all discussing this at dinner last night. Like you can't, if you have muscles, male or female, if you have muscles, it's just weird. Like people are not used to seeing that. Whereas 60, 70, again, earlier, that was more the norm look.
I look at my we're getting off track, but I have a photo of my grandfather, Nick. Mm-hmm. And what year would you say that is? Maybe the 40s?
I'd say it was probably 34 to 45 time frame. That was probably.
And he's on a paddleboard, jacked and ripped.
You never see that.
He didn't
shredded.
He didn't work out like that. Like he
manual labor and
he just did manual labor and lived and ate and he was on a paddleboard. He was out of paddleboard in Lutraki, ripped,
dude,
at full abs, 8-pack, naturally.
You don't see that.
No.
There's been guys who have come after me on like YouTube or whatever, and they're like, "Who's this guy?" And I'm like, first of all, your joke is really old, okay? Because I have short hair, whatever. Maybe I'm more jacked than you. But if I look like what you think a guy should look like, that's a problem, dude. like that's a problem. I am 5'3".
The spectrum is off.
Yeah. Like standards have, we got to raise them. But it's just weird because you don't see like a muscular guy is just so like you get kicked out of Planet Fitness for looking like that.
Yeah.
Like the statue of Hercules, like that's what a man was supposed to look like. And now it's changed so much. And part of this, it has to do with the exposure to a lot of these toxic things that we used to be like are so tree huggy, like not something to worry about. But it's called phthalate syndrome, like the PT, however the hell you spell it. And that's what was studied that predicted men to be infertile by the year 2050, which is crazy to,
well,
2050.
It's not that far away.
They're saying 2050 men will be infertile.
And this study came out
per capita or whatever.
2017.
Yeah.
Yep.
What the hell, man?
Worldwide.
Well, I mean, just our infertility clinic that we used only because, he is fixed. And so we've done a workaround to do IVF. It says it's increased, I think, by 40%.
Yep.
In the last few years.
So everyone knows
how does
somebody.
how does this play into to BTE, big T energy?
So the boys that are being born, when they're in the womb, if a mom is exposed to a high level of phthalates or xenoestrogens, which are like the fake estrogens, which are 1,000 more times powerful than regular estrogen, they can actually affect a guy's sperm production as an adult while he's in the womb, which is like, I mean, you look at me like I'm like insane when I say that, but it's true. And it's so weird. And you're like, what? How the fuck? Like, and so boys are being born with more feminine traits where they may have one testicle, one ovary. They may have a very short anogenital distance, which women are born with, but guys should have a longer one. And it's not something that, you know, you were saying, like, we physically notice that. Like, it's not like we're looking at people's taints, but like they do measure them at birth and everything. And they've done studies where they've measured it on women who had a higher level of phthalates that they've also measured in them. Like, it's crazy. But, and then when people say, well, what do I do? Like when my wife's pregnant, I'm like, I don't know. Because there's nobody
Not
that
microwave
has the
your
answer.
food, not use like plastics in your,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. But as far as like detoxing like xenoestrogens, no one's found the answer for that yet.
So just stay away from them initially.
Yeah. But it's so hard. Like think about
Our
when
whole
we're
life.
born,
Yeah.
you're put on a tube that's plastic.
Yeah.
You know, the woman who did the study, Shanna Swan, she was on Joe Rogan, so that's
Yes,
why a
I
lot of
saw
people
her.
know about
Yeah.
her study. She was so skeptical of all of this that she basically did the landmark study of knowing this at Mount Sinai, of diving into this, and she's like, I accounted for people who were obese. I accounted for people in other countries. Everything that you would think, like, well, this person is an outlier for this. She was like, holy shit. And she's from upstate New York. She told the people at Wegmans, like, the flame retardants in carpets are part of all of these chemicals. So they pulled that from the shelves. I'm sorry, not Wegmans, Home Depot. But Wegmans did pull things from the shelves that carried a lot of these toxic chemicals. But it's like not enough. I tell people, listen, just do basic shit like switch to glass because you're using that pretty much every day. And then products like Johnny Slicks, you know, that have no
Parabens
toxic
and-
things like parabens and stuff like that.
Well,
Because
the
you're
same-
putting it on your
it's
body.
the same reason. That's why it's one of the reasons why Johnny uses the amber jars, is for that exact reason. Because if a lot of people are using tin or they're using some sort of plastic, and he's like, dude, that's seeping into your, especially if you're pouring in hot liquid when you manufacture it.
Yeah.
He's like, you're immediately breaking down the substance, especially with tin. You're getting aluminum and everything inside of your product. So that's the reason why we use the amber jars.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing we were just talking about the other day, because there's like a whole new group of studies that are out with both non-organic tampons and diapers and things like that. Women are like struggling with infertility as well, and one of the big main factors that is showing up across the board is that they're spraying cotton with a chemical, and then you're using in the most absorbent area, like vaginally, that you can possibly do. You're taking the cotton item that was sprayed with this essentially toxin and putting it inside of you, and then you're absorbing it. And then why does, both cervical cancer and infertility increase over the last, 30 years or whatever? So same thing with diapers. So cotton, same deal. Diapers. People are putting that, or the sprayed diapers on their baby's ass every day. And it's literally causing all these issues. So it's like, get organic diapers or cloth diapers.
Yeah.
Get the cup, the period cup, or get organic cotton tampons. Like simple little things like that can change a lot.
It's just so overwhelming.
So
It's so overwhelming.
So, in your opinion, because you brought it up today, so we've got basically a male epidemic happening, a masculine epidemic. Now, simultaneously, there's this big push, and has been this big push over the last couple years, about toxic masculinity. So, wait a minute. If men are becoming more feminine, why are we having more? And I have my own answer for this, but I want it from you. Why is this big push for toxic masculinity, or is it all just big conspiracy to make the whole world one gender?
The suppression and the attempt of eradication of men is just baffling to me. Like, when did this start and why the fuck is it like a thing? And I started realizing it because the strength and conditioning world is so male dominated.
Right.
We all joke around with each other. Like, you know, it's maybe because I'm used to making crass jokes. Like, I don't get offended by that stuff. But then all of a sudden you would hear stories of a lot of women getting very offended by this. And I'm like, it's a joke. Like, I don't understand. And now I should preface it with, yes, sexual harassment is a real thing. I do not dismiss anybody who has been sexually harassed, but I do think there's a difference between joking around with somebody and then sexual harassment. Like, there's a big line there.
Or taking advantage.
Right.
Yeah. Whichever that falls under.
Yeah. And so I think back of like I've been doing this 22 years. Every time I joked around with somebody at a seminar or something or whatever, like, if I went after them, endless, like, I don't know. That's a lot of times that, like, I could have made it a thing, but it wasn't a thing. I'm treading very carefully because I don't want people to come after me and say that I'm, like, saying sexual harassment is not a thing. It is. But then you realize that slowly a lot of my male colleagues became very terrified to hug, to compliment, to talk to a woman. Just for fear.
A lot of the guys don't. A lot of people in the industry don't even want to work with females anymore.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Like, and I'm like, oh my God. And I remember I asked a lot of my colleagues. I asked them outright, like, individually, are you afraid to talk to females in the industry, even your clients? Like, are you afraid to compliment them? Say, like, you know, I like your shirt or whatever. Everyone was a yes. Every single dude. Because they're paralyzed because all of a sudden, if they say something wrong in the wrong way, then they could be flagged for that in whatever direction. And I was like, damn, like, that's not right. And it just exploded into this hyper feminist movement where, like, I understand strong women. I mean, Allie and I have careers. Like, I get that. But also it's like, you don't have to push men down for it.
Or vilify them. Like,
yeah.
They're all monsters. Like, that's what fucking scares me, is because I'm raising a boy now. And I'm, like, terrified that he's going to be vilified if he likes a girl.
Or he likes girls.
And he likes girls a lot.
Yeah, he likes girls a lot.
But it's like, at what point are we suddenly, like, raising our boys to, like, not even, like, their natural attraction to a female is a problem.
And the problem with that is when you do that, for a young man, when you start vilifying or telling them that they're wrong by having these feelings or
attraction,
things like that, yeah, anything like that, and you don't give them an outlet or teach them how to do it properly, how to communicate with women, how to, like, you know, do physical things, right? And you suppress all that, it comes out in the most darkest, nastiest ways. Mm-hmm. And I'm not even talking about toxicity. I'm talking about dark, nasty things where men start doing really horrific things because they've been told that it's wrong, or they've had their masculinity suppressed. And that's where you get some really gross stuff that happens. But so to your thing, so what are you thinking that, like, how, I don't think that it can be toxic if we're losing men, if men are no longer men, then how is it toxic?
It's weird, but because then it means that anything that is what a guy, like, aggressive behavior, mm-hmm. is now like, nope, we got to get rid of that. Yeah. Like, for boys, they're telling boys to not be aggressive and not fight. Now, okay, I'm not promoting violence on the playground here, but enrolling your child in martial arts, I think, is a good thing. I think every man should do that.
Here's the deal. Let's be real. Violence on the playground is a real thing, and it was in my day. Now I don't think it's so much. Like, I hear, because I teach kids, and apparently bullying isn't really a thing in them anymore. It's like your slide.
Right.
Bullying happens on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even in school. People in school don't bully anymore.
Not in person.
Not in person. No. Like,
they don't want to get hit in the face.
Right. Because that's what happens, right?
Exactly.
So with my childhood, you know, I got bullied. Me and my brother moved around all the time. We were, you know, a lot of times we were not in predominantly white areas, you know, because of the the amount of money that we had and where we had to live. So we did get bullied. Guess what happened? I learned to stand up for myself. I was talking about it on the podcast with my mom. Like, there was one incident that I'll never forget. It was the single incident that changed everything for me, that made me stand up for myself. And then me and that kid became friends for the rest of the time I lived there.
It's like
Life.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
And so you have those boys that you're already suppressing them at a young age.
Yeah.
And it's actually the surge of single parents, single moms specifically, raising younger boys.
Yeah.
Who end up having suppressed testosterone levels. And they've done studies on single moms, and then single moms where the dad was in prison and was not in the picture at all.
The fatherless epidemic is probably one of the worst things that's happened to America.
Orchestrated.
And it was a planned and orchestrated thing.
By our government.
By our government. That started with the black community, and but it was 100% designed and planned to decentralize the family unit and to do just that. Remove strong men from the community.
So the government has more control.
And then what happens? You have a compliant, weakened society across the board.
And it's nuts. And I actually polled women on my Instagram, I think 2 years ago, asking questions like, do you still believe in some gender roles? Do you appreciate chivalry? Do you appreciate when your guy makes decisions? Like stuff like that. The majority was saying yes.
What's crazy is like, so she's, I mean, you obviously know her.
Yeah.
She's the most independent woman that I have ever met. Like, she's like, I don't need no man.
Yeah.
Guess what she likes? She likes me to open doors for her, like take her on dates, plan things, like be the man.
Well, and walk in front of me when
Yeah.
we're going somewhere and lead conversation and all those things, just because I feel like those are the things I'm attracted to. Not even because I need it, but because I want it.
So do I. Like if a guy is like, I don't know, where do you want to eat? I'm like, done.
Like, just fucking pick, dude.
Yeah. Like
I'm gonna go find a real man.
but it's weird like that. I don't know. You know, and it's just like somebody that I feel like I can bulldoze. Like if my personality is stronger, it was just immediate. Can't be attracted to that.
You're not, right?
And there's women who like that. They like being the alpha.
No, I don't think so. I disagree. I don't think they do.
They think they do.
I think they do. And then those women that have those men cheat on them.
Yes. And that's why they don't like them on testosterone, because then they become stronger personality wise. And so then they shut it down.
Yeah.
I didn't bring that up today, but I was like, it's a thing.
That's a whole thing. Yeah, I deal with a lot of my clients that they, you know, typically what happens with our clients is they come on, we do the starter thing before we
Starter pack.
The starter pack, you know, we start changing routine and, you know, little bitty things. You can't pull the rug out from under them initially. You know how it is. Their whole life will fall apart and they'll fail. But then once we get to that area to where it's like, well, let's talk about your blood work and testosterone and where you're sitting. And then that's typically what happens. Their wife comes back. They're like, no, my wife's worried about, or the woman will hit me up through IG. I'm like, I'm worried about prostate cancer and heart disease and his violence and his
he's
attitude.
getting so angry.
He's getting so angry.
It's like, well, stop mouthing off.
Yeah. Oh my God, I hate that. And then it's like my wife and I'm like, why are you asking permission to function as a guy?
Right.
Like, what? And I've said this to some of them. I'm like, have her talk to me. I will answer every single question.
Exactly.
They never do, because it's not really answers they want. Yeah, it's not really a thing.
But I've always stood by that as like, you know, all women truly want a lion. But even if they push back, they want a man that when they push, the man's going to push back. Because
stand up for himself.
Because they know that they're with somebody that has like boundaries and then like authority and is, you know,
a leader.
A leader. What is a man supposed to be? Protect, provide. You know, I'm not saying that women can't do those things. You know,
but we don't always want to.
Right. Yeah.
So back on the sexual harassment, you've been in this industry like forever, which is,
I'm old.
You know, for if you're old, then I'm old.
You are.
Okay. As my knee was hurting when we had bad weather the other day. Have you, and especially in a very vain, physical, sexual industry, all right? Have you been sexually harassed?
No. Well, how do we define it?
I don't know.
That's the problem. Is like I I know how
not
guys
sexually
joke
harassed.
too.
I wouldn't say sexually harassed. Maybe, I don't know.
I have not been touched in places that I didn't want to after saying no. That would be like my definition.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
like if Allie put her hand down my pants right now, I would feel weird. But I'd probably make a joke about it. But that hasn't happened with a guy that I told them not to.
So
Right.
no one's like inappropriately like made comments or came on to you.
Oh yeah, but like I just brush it off. I'm not like internally affected
You're
to.
not a fragile butterfly that can't stand up for herself.
I wouldn't say I'm not.
Okay, what about this? What about this? Opportunities. That's a way of sexual harassment, right?
Not like I'll let you do this if you go on a date with me, or
Quid
if
pro
you.
quo.
Oh, I've been propositioned for those, and I say no.
Thank you.
Thank you, but no.
Thank you, but no. So that has happened.
Yeah,
That's a real
yeah.
thing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I guess I'm like,
Because I don't get those kind of opportunities. There's no woman that's like, hey, if you do this thing for me.
You've never really worked with like a woman in power, though. And the military is like a harder spot to do that with because
true.
you're mostly male dominated.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you this, like the number one industry I feel like that is affected by that, it's not the fitness industry and it's not the
Hollywood.
military. No, I feel like it's a fucking restaurant industry because everybody's drinking and using drugs and that shit happens
I didn't think of that.
I don't think
on
of
the
that either.
reg. I feel like every boss I ever had at a restaurant is like felt me up, tried. And that shit happens constantly because everybody's using each other,
Yeah.
and you're just working late and drinking, and it's just there's no boundaries. I feel like so many industries, like even the fitness industry and the military, there's a lot more boundaries. So there are people that cross lines, but the lines are very clear.
Yeah.
Restaurant industry, bar industry, the lines are not there.
I don't think there are as many. I don't think there's boundaries in the industry. Well, there are now, but I don't think there were.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like if anything, I could have been accused of harassing somebody just by joking. I call it joking around. I don't know. I've never had a guy be like, "No, don't do that. That's offensive." But I just like slap people on the. I'm not like grabbing their junk, but like, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to not be insensitive to people who have been affected deeply, but I'm also like I can't.
Well, I think that
Pinpoint.
people have been affected by that kind of thing, but it comes down to having the not being insecure, having the what's the word, babe? Like the confidence in yourself to say, like you said, like to say thanks, but no. But then like we see, what was that Fox movie that we watched? We went and saw Bombshells.
Yes.
Where these women
Yes.
like get trapped into like doing this stuff.
Well, and
where-
that's Hollywood. That's like them trying to further their careers, and then the opportunity presents itself for them to further their careers, but only at a price. And that is shitty.
But that is shitty. But the thing is they do it, and then afterwards they feel shitty, and then they complain, or they, it comes out. But like you can have right there in that moment, like I would want my girls to be like that, and to be like you guys, and be like, no, thanks, but I'm good. So good luck to you, and whatever this is. But this isn't for me, and I will make it happen without this because it can happen.
I just never wanted to give somebody the reason to say I got X because I did X.
Right.
I always, and even when Charlie and I started
Which
dating,
might be a harder road, but guess what?
yeah, but
Welcome to life.
yeah, it's not like a car. I would be so uncomfortable if he bought my Jeep for me. But when I have bought my own cars, like it makes me feel like accomplished. If a guy bought me a car outright, like the kind that I like, I just feel very uncomfortable. I'd be like, this is like,
I'm sure the guy's pocket would be very uncomfortable
and it
as
would
well.
be a huge dent. Yes. But for me, like that makes me uncomfortable. And when Charlie and I started dating, I got on the Perform Better tour the same year, and he was like, right then and there, he was very careful about what he tagged me in and how he worded things, because he's like, I don't want people thinking because we're dating that's how you got on. Because I literally had a conversation with Chris Poirier, who runs it, like that same year, because he saw me speak somewhere else, and he said this would be good content for the tour. So I'm very like trying to be aware of his, because at first I was like, why don't you want to tag me and shit? And then he's like, I don't want to give people the opportunity to think you got somewhere because of me.
Allie would have been like, oh, so you don't want to, what are you trying to hide here? Trying to hide me?
That's how I was. I was like, wait, what? But then it's Charlie. He doesn't like work that way, operate that way. So I'm thinking like all the shit I did, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
I could see his face, you bringing that up to him, and him being like, not even processing that at all, but like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, Allie. Why would I do or not do that?
He's so logical that like when I make jokes, sometimes he takes them so literally, and I'm like, forget it, it's just a joke. Damn smart people.
I'm nervous about I can't wait to have him on, but at the same time, I'm nervous about having him on because I'm afraid no one's going to understand what the hell he's talking about, including myself. I'm going to ask him a question. I'm going to be like, I got about 5% of what you said.
There's just like a little underscore. There's like his whole little lower thirds with like a translation of what it means, what he's saying.
That would be hilarious. Basically, what he's saying is you should lift more weight. That's that 30 minutes was just lift heavy weight.
I think the first year of us dating, I had to like Google what the fuck he was saying. Like some of the words, I was like, nefarious. Okay, what is nefarious?
So just for those listening, so actually, Charlie Weingroff was a physical strength conditioning coach at Marsoc. That's when I first met him.
That's when you guys met before we met.
Yeah, way back in 2008, I want to say.
You brought him to something, and he was like, "Is that?"
No. It was at
TSAC.
It was at TSAC? Was it at TSAC?
He spoke at TSAC, yeah.
Okay. And then, we met you there, and then that next thing you know, Josh is like, did you know that old Gilbert and Charlie's hooked up? I was like, what?
I know, everyone was like, wait, you and Charlie?
And how'd you guys meet? At a TSAC conference?
No, so our friend Don Saladino, who owned Drive 495 in the city.
Okay.
Charlie worked out of there right after he left Marsoc.
Okay.
Don and I were friends because Don was doing golf fitness and everything. So I'd go in the city all the time. Don and I would train together. And Charlie was married at the time. And never in a million years did I peg him as like my type until I started to get to know him.
I would never have put you two together.
No, most people, like ever. And there's a lot of us that's very not similar, but also like the intelligence level and his ability to allow me to be who I am.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't get because he's like, I just act normal. I'm like, he's like, I don't let you do anything. I'm like, you don't understand
How men are.
Yes. Like I literally provoked a lot of insecurities with other guys I dated.
Because he's not insecure.
Not at all.
Not at all.
People are like, your husband's my hero. You talk about dicks. He
doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. It's amazing. Like
he just doesn't want you to get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like he's like, I don't agree with it, but I guess why she does it.
Yeah.
You know, and like there's people who like I do seminars with, and I'm like, oh, we might do seminar in Europe. He's like, oh, cool. Like not one fraction of like jealousy or anything, which is what I needed. Because then slowly over the years of us dating, I was able to become the more crass, transparent, like person.
Best version of yourself.
Yeah, that was suppressed for so long. And I'm like, dude, you let me be me. That's all I need.
I can't imagine you. I mean, I remember now, and it makes sense now. Like over the years, you become more yourself. And maybe you're just getting crazy.
And sometimes it takes that. Older. Sometimes it takes age. I feel like, especially for women, it takes us to get to where we're like, just don't give a fuck. You have to hit a certain age. I feel like
you do, yeah.
But you doing the golf, like the golf strength conditioning and being who you are, to compare, like you had to keep so much under wraps.
Oh yeah. It was weird. Like, and I think that's why like I spiraled like when my mom died, because I was like, I'm going to get implants and I'm going to also go through a breakup at the same time. And then I literally was like, what am I doing? Because the person that I was dating would get pissed when I would get speaking like gigs. Like,
what?
I'm going to China. And he would be like, so you're leaving for 8 days? I'm like, but I'm speaking in China. Like,
this is serious, like my dream.
Yeah. And stuff like that. And so when that mess was done, like talking to Charlie was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm gonna
go to China and just trip down fall down the stairs and land in a bunch of Chinese dicks.
Yeah. Like, meanwhile, Charlie was like, because there's a point where I thought I should go to medical school because the frustration of trying to find competent physicians 5 years ago still, but we have people now. But
we have our own communities.
I was like, maybe I'll just go to medical school. And he's like, I fully support it. I'll never see you, but I fully support whatever you want to do. And I was like, holy shit. Like, you don't find that often in a guy. And so every speaking opportunity, everything that I've done, like, he's always fully supported, which is great.
Did it
That's
throw you
all
for
I
a loop
wanted.
at first? Were you a little bit like, this guy doesn't care what I do? Does he not care?
That's the way you were.
At first, when I got with him, because I've been with so many dudes that had so many restrictions and so many things that they wanted me to do or not do, even what I wore, that when I got with him and he just didn't care and he was like, whatever, I was like,
She legitimately thought that I didn't care about her.
I'm like, maybe he doesn't care about me.
But I could see that.
How twisted is that though?
So true. Because I would ask him, like, hey, do you care, or can I go to this seminar on whatever date? And he's like, why are you asking me? I'm like, I don't have it. Like, I don't know.
I don't want you to be mad at me and beat me.
Yeah. Like, is it okay if I go? It totally threw me for a loop. But he's like, so, like, his intellect is just so high that's another attraction to me. Because I'm like, wow, I actually learn a lot from him. But he also knows enough to be secure in who he is.
That's funny. You're one of those
crazy.
people. I was building my slides like 10 minutes before I spoke today. And
That means you're a professional.
is that what that means?
Yeah, I was doing it behind the bar today.
Okay.
A little bit.
Good.
No, but yeah.
Because people ask me, like, what are you speaking about? I'm like, fuck. Ask me after I'm done.
Perform Better asked us for our slides like 2 months before.
There's no way, man. There's no way.
It's always different.
Anyways, but I came across this one that it was a picture of this like really sexy looking woman licking a brain. Like she's like really essentially like licking a brain, and it was basically talking about basically talking about the women, specific women that are extremely sexually attractive to intellect. And I was like, oh, that's a thing.
It is. And I didn't think I was that person because I always liked like the Jack Tan Guidos. And I'm like, all right, well, Charlie is from the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
So that checks that box.
Yeah, but those guys are really insecure.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, when they like really say there's nothing in between, I'm like, okay. Now, this is not all men who are jacked and tan because I like to create them amongst my people.
Yeah.
But,
I'm one of them.
you know, you actually have intellectual capabilities. Like not all of them do. And again, it's the same like people have said to me, like, you know, oh, you're a blonde who actually like has some sort of capacity to understand shit. And I'm like, I get it. Like there's always going to be stereotypes for stuff, you know, but I never thought I'd be the person who'd be like hyper like attracted to somebody's brain, but that's cool, you know? And he happens to be very wide. So that helps.
But he's also shredded. Like Charlie with his shirt off. It's a whole different deal.
Whole different. Like, and the funny thing, he's 5 foot. He's 5'4". He says he's 5'4.5". It's 5'4". I'm 5'3". I've dated guys that are like 5'6", 5'8", and I've just been like totally turned off just because of their personality, that they seem a lot smaller. With him, like I'll wear heels and I'll be like eye to eye, and I'm like, this is so weird. And people think he's like 5'6", 5'5".
He seems huge.
Very
Even
much.
to me, I'm 6 foot 2, almost 220, and he seems huge.
Well,
I get around Charlie, and I'm like, this is a massive human being.
He'll love to hear that. But he's like, yeah, I don't ever feel short until I see photos of me with my basketball guys.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And his face is like at their crotch. So funny.
So you did Metabolic Golf. Briefly, like, give me the wave tops of like how that even started. Then I want to talk about what you're doing now, and then talk about us.
So the golf thing, like, that was in like 2008 because everyone wants to train athletes.
What'd you just say?
2008.
Okay.
Is that right?
20. Oh, wait.
That's just a weird way to say that, but okay. Go continue.
I made it up.
Okay.
And that's why I specialized in golf fitness, because you could train athletes, because everyone wants to train athletes, but athletes can't really afford like professional athletes and stuff like that, but it's a saturated market. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, I got to specialize in something like golf. Golf is cool because it's like biomechanics.
Were you a golfer?
Not at all.
So you just like fucking picked golf.
YOLO. Like, yeah, I literally sat in the Titleist Performance Institute course, and I asked the guy next to me, I'm like, what does scratch mean? Which means like your handicap is 0.
I don't know. I've never played golf once in my life.
I was like, I don't know what that means. And so I was like, I need to learn, because you can't like train with somebody who doesn't know the sport, you know. And I'm like, that's why I had to learn.
I
About
feel like
BJJ.
I feel like golf's not one of those ones that you can fake either. That's not
at all.
Mark's like, no, bro.
So I started bartering with golf pros. I was like, yo, I'll train you if you teach me. And then I took lessons with everybody. And so that was great because it brought me very focused guys and only guys, because women don't seek out golf fitness.
And another good thing is it's an expensive sport and they're willing to spend the money.
Correct.
Yeah.
So now I was like, oh,
Good business move there, by the way.
thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, something.
And you were in Connecticut, right?
Yes. So we had 9
Yuck.
golf clubs in Greenwich. 9.
Yuck.
Greenwich is very wealthy. All the billionaires that go to Wall Street. So I was like, I am in the perfect town for this. So it was fantastic.
Is this where you're from, that town?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't like identify as a Greenwich person.
No,
I just was born there.
You're definitely a South Florida person. That did not take long to
Oh,
kick
hell
in.
no. Hell no. But I never felt like I fit in anyway there. Like, I'm not into designer clothes. Like, I like cars. I don't know. Maybe I should have been a guy, but like, I literally just couldn't relate to a lot of, at least the female friends that I had, that I went to an all-girls school, and I'm just like, I'm not into this
You went to an
Burberry thing.
all-girl school?
I did for 11 years.
That's why she's so nasty.
How did that?
See?
I was gonna say, how did that go over?
It was weird.
Those girls are freaks. I know because my brother, like, we went to private school, but it was co-ed, and my brother dated all the girls from that, like, from the school, all girls schools, and they were nasty. We had like babysitters that would come over and like bang my brother in the back room, and I'm like, he's like 4 years younger than you, dude. Those girls are freaks.
They're all suppressed.
Oh yeah, when I got to college, was the best. So see, now I'll start to remember. This is not like embarrassing, but so my mom stuck me in all-girls school in 2nd grade because she wanted me to have a good education, you know, single mom or whatever. So we had like, I graduated.
And she's trying to keep the boys away.
Exactly.
So the thought process,
part of her motive.
the thought process seems legit.
It completely backfired on me.
Yeah,
Makes
of
you
course.
crazy. You just yeah.
So senior year, we had 36 girls. Now, picture that nowadays with like social media and all this stuff. Like literally, we didn't even have.
I'm pretty
email.
sure they make videos about that on the internet these days.
They do.
Yeah.
We had AOL. That was like the cool thing. AOL. So I dated people on AOL. You know,
Yeah.
like ASL.
Chat
where you
rooms,
from?
yeah.
Chat rooms. So graduated school, go to Springfield College, major in exercise science. Freshman year, our exercise science lab. She's like, all right, make sure on Thursday, girls, you guys wear sports bras, guys, shave your chest, because we're going to do body fat testing on each other. And I was like, what? And then Thursday comes, and I'm like, there's boys with shirts off in my class.
How old were you?
College is great. 17. I was like, this is awesome. So not only do I get to see shirtless dudes in class, but we're now breaking down the bench press after this. Like, this is really awesome. I love college. Yeah. I didn't even drink in high school. Like, my senior prom, I only drank a beer because people were like, you're drinking a beer. Like, I was the biggest naive. I'm like, I'm a jock. I don't need to drink and blah, blah, blah. And I get to college. And I'm like, you guys go out at 11? 11 p.m.? What?
So nothing much has changed then.
Oh, it changed. It just came back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. College, like, I had no idea people did drugs.
So you
and
played sports in
everything.
high school, in the all-girls school?
I did. And then
Soccer,
I played
right?
Soccer in college. Yeah.
Okay.
In high school, I played basketball and softball. I
Okay.
played softball 1 year in college.
Seemed
but,
like more of a soccer person.
yeah.
Didn't do well at basketball.
Why do you say that?
You're probably a good
Short.
point guard. Probably run the ball.
The weird thing, it was harder to dribble with my hands than my feet. I don't know.
That's it.
It's an ADD thing. But yeah.
And you're straight, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Which,
fluid, right? There's no such thing as in 2022. You can't put that label on people.
Oh, I can.
that's right. Yes. Yes.
I'm just saying, when I was a kid, softball, there was not many straight girls playing softball.
Which I had no idea that was a thing. So like I go from my recruiting trip and I stayed with one
I mean,
of the softball
I don't know
girls.
if it is anymore, but in the 90s.
No, but it still is.
Oh, okay.
Or as Ali said, whatever you want to identify. it.
2022.
It's fine.
Like the girls in at Gulf Coast Community College, the softball girls there, I even liked one of them. She's like, sorry, bud. Wrong team.
I honestly had no idea. Like
Yeah.
the girl I stayed with, she's like, most of the softball team are lesbians. And I was like, really? And then I come to find out that like people thought of Springfield as most of the women there were lesbians. And I was like, really? Like, not that it bothered me. It just wasn't something I dealt with in high school.
Right.
Until that, now I realize like how many of my classmates, okay, they were struggling to come out. Like, okay, it all makes sense now. But that was the thing. And girls on our soccer team too.
Yep.
So, but I didn't know that was a thing because our school is so sports, everything. We had sports biology, sports journalism, sports psychology. Like everything was athletically focused. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. I had never gone to school. First grade was the last time I went to school with boys. Like, and now I'm like pinching them and like doing calipers. And I'm like, hi.
I'm Allie.
Yeah. My boyfriend was on the football team and it was like, this very like, okay, that's supposed to happen type of thing. Like, all right, college was cool. Then you get to the fitness industry and you're like, drugs, partying. Okay, this is like an extension of college, but you get paid for it. So this is fun.
So what did you do between college and the golf thing?
So I graduated in 2003.
Okay.
And then I basically was training at a commercial gym for years.
Just personal training type.
Yep. Yeah. At a Gold's and then, at a World's gym. And then I got picked up, sounds wrong, but somebody who worked there owned a smaller company that did training that pulled me out of there. And that's when I was still trying to figure out what my niche was because I was advised to find that at a young age. Who do I like? And I was like, I end up talking a lot about cars to guys, so that makes sense. But I really want to work with athletes. And it's like you really can't find a niche within a niche with the athletes. It's so hard. Anyone who's tried can talk about it. But like you said, golfers are athletes that take it very seriously and can afford it. And I was like, shit, 9 golf clubs in this town. I'm bound to do okay.
They probably love to work with a female, like young female, athlete that's like on the move with whatever. I would think that'd be a great niche. What made you think that like, okay, I have to pick a niche?
I was told at 19 because if you're a generalist, then people have more choices.
Okay.
But if you're the person who knows the most about X topic, people will travel to come see you. You can charge more money. Like, I was like, oh.
That's so freaking smart. Sense. Somebody like told you that quick and you nailed it. That's so smart.
Yeah. And I was like, that's the best advice. So that's why I give younger trainers.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I don't know what to do next. Or they've been really bored at a commercial gym. And I'm like, so who do you enjoy training? And they'll identify whoever. And I'm like, all right, if it's women, if you're a boy and you're training women and you love training women, learn about women.
Yes, yes.
It'll only help you.
Like Gunnar Peterson, I don't know if you know who
he is. Okay, him, yeah.
He did that great talk. I thought it was so awesome at Summer Strong a few years back. And he's like straight up like, okay, put all these brands on the board and tell me which brands you would work with. And everybody was like, oh, maybe that one, maybe this one, and he's like, no, you want to work with all of them and you want to approach their niche. You want to be the best of the best and make yourself available to these brands and make yourself the best of that brand. So like, I always thought that was so smart. Like you get in with, and it kind of happened organically with Nick and Josh, just because they were like just putting stuff on the internet and all these young dudes who wanted to join the Marine Corps or whatever are like hitting them up every day of the week. And like, how do we get in? What should our PFT be? To where you make a product that sells directly to that person and then it like, goes through the roof. So it's so smart. She said she learned that at 19. Somebody told her.
Find
a niche.
Yeah, we definitely, and it's something that you have to constantly refine because obviously you changed yours. When was it that happened that you just kind of said, okay, I guess I'm not doing golf anymore? What happened?
Funny thing is like all my in-person clients are golfers that found me through the golf world. So a lot of my in-person clients had no idea what I was doing on my online coaching. And it wasn't that I made a decision to not do it anymore. It was more, it just started gravitating where all my content and everything that I was excited about had to do with men's health.
Yeah.
It was a business coach of mine, Tom Plummer, in like 2011 or 12, I think 2012, where he was like, there's something there with the men's stuff. Don't post about women's hormones anymore. Just run with the guy stuff. I was like, okay. And I did that and it like took off like wildfire because like having a female in
you say in posting back then, where were you? Where was it?
Facebook. You were not MySpace. Facebook.
Your Facebook you have right now, the same one. Your
Yeah.
personal or page?
Personal.
Personal page. So you really only have like a governor. You can only go so big with that.
For the men's health?
No, just the page in general, like your personal Facebook page.
What do you
So
mean?
like back then, you can only have like 5,000 friends, and it only goes to like.
Oh yeah.
It's not like an Instagram account or
Right.
a Facebook page or like a company page where you can just have tons of people.
Instagram wasn't big in 2012. I don't think it was
No,
like
not at all.
No.
just starting to.
No.
Yeah. So I started posting more about that, and then like got pegged as like the men's health person
Yeah.
or penis person. I don't know how that came about. Like everyone started sending me dick pics, or not dick pics, sorry, dick memes, dick jokes, and stuff like that.
Big difference there.
Probably
It's like-
because you had so many great things in your actual talks, and people, I remember specifically like being at stuff where you were, people were like screenshotting your like speech notes or keynotes, and then you
Your
talked about it.
names
So
in the
then
back.
anytime you were anywhere where people saw you in person, they like start tagging you in it, I'm sure.
Yes. And I was at like bring it on, because one of my best friends, Alan Cosgrove, he always says just like Nike and like Coke, you want to be top of mind. So if somebody says shoe, you think Nike, like athletic shoe. Soda, you think Coke. And I'm like, Alan, I'm top of mind when people see a penis.
In all the ways.
I'm the penis girl.
It's branding, like, and so that's what literally the collection of like penis mugs and shit that people have sent me. I'm like, this is hilarious. Charlie thinks otherwise, but I'm like, listen, this is branding. It is on brand. Like people see that stuff everywhere they go, and they screenshot and they tag me. Like that is awesome. Or a gorilla, like that is awesome. It's like a thing.
So yeah, real quick, tell me before we get into what you're doing now. Talk to me about the gorilla thing. We never really like flushed that out. Like I never like. Where did the gorilla come from? What was? I know you said it today, but like,
Yeah.
What was the initial
Was
like?
it the backstory?
I'm gonna be the dick gorilla person. Gorilla dick person.
I think, did it start when I was doing metabolic golf stuff? I can't remember. No, it was back in 2016 where I was like, all right, I need a logo, but I don't know exactly what for it to be. And I remember Charlie and I were just like hanging out or something, and I think he was crawling across the bed, and he was like, I feel like a baby gorilla. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, you're jacked. You're what? Oh my God. I was like, holy shit. And one of his friends, Kenny, is the one who drew the gorilla for me. And I told him, I was like, all right, I need a logo. I don't want him to be too fierce and mean looking, because I don't want to be associated with mean. But I was like, see what you come up with. And he drew one, and I was like, And then I was like
too cartoony at first.
yeah, or like way too vicious. And so then I sent him this photo of me and Charlie standing next to each other, and Charlie has this smirk on his face that's like arrogant like this, like. And I was like, can you draw this? And it's exactly like him. And it's hilarious too, because I would put those side by side at every Perform Better talk, because everyone knows him.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is how it came about.
Yeah.
And having the gorilla was a better representation of the eggplant emoji, which tends to represent dudes for their dicks. And I was like, so much better. And now I can make a story out of it and tell people that that's how that came from the stupid eggplant emoji. You guys are better off represented as a silverback. Even though, yes, it's been brought to my attention that gorillas are vegans and they have small penises. I get it. But still.
That's not the
The
point.
look, that's not the point. So that's how that came about. And so I've kind of run with it, because the silverback gorilla looks pretty damn cool in person. They look jacked.
Well, might have small penises. Guess what? Guess what keeps happening? Gorillas keep getting made. So
Something works.
something works.
Yeah. And you can make it bigger. There are devices that make it bigger.
Oh, shit.
So speaking of, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, I really wanted to, if you wouldn't mind, and you wouldn't mind, just because specifically.
Yes, hold on.
Okay.
What are you doing now? What's your main
Yeah.
thing?
Online coaching
For who?
for men, and we do take women, because I train this lovely woman right
Yeah.
here. And I have 2 coaches that work for me that can handle the majority of women too.
Women who are serious.
Yeah.
Women who are
Serious.
serious. Who are going to follow instructions and not fuck around.
Yeah.
And
Anybody who's serious, really.
And not send you a book of the reasons why they're
They
special.
can't. Excuses.
No, because I've done that to people, and then I'm like, oh my God, I did that to Luke. I was like, I'm a special snowflake. I can't handle carbs, blah blah blah. And now he just
You did the woman thing
oh,
to
I
him?
totally.
Oh, you fell right into your own trap.
He makes so much fun of me because I gained like a kilo. Like I was eating 1,100 calories like for years. He put me right to 2,400 and I gained 1 kilo, which is like 2 pounds. And I freaked the fuck out.
So here's
and now I'm like I gained like 6 kilos.
You're gonna give all the dirty secrets to about trainers. We're the worst.
We are.
The absolute worst. Coaches are typically I'll tell you this. If a coach doesn't have a coach, they're the worst.
Yes. They don't believe in their product.
Yep.
And people are like, why do you have a coach? I'm like, dude, really? Like, have you met me? Like, I will overthink everything. But you can't objectively assess yourself. Like, doctors can't be their own doctors.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have somebody also tell you like it how it is and not have to waste energy thinking about what is the best path for you. Have somebody else who's on the other side. This is the best path. Just fucking listen to me and stick with it. Because otherwise we'll make a knee-jerk decision based on how we feel that day.
Right. Right. Or what the scale said.
Exactly.
Or what you look like in the mirror. You're like, well, I'm changing everything.
I can guess
Or
all
the
their
in-body.
body.
Yeah.
So that's kind of with me, you know, like I've done some decent things and you know, I was obviously very fit when I was in in special operations, and then got out, you know, injuries start to kick in, life changes, all that kind of stuff, routine changes. And as I've shared pictures on thousands of times of me.
Part of it too, just to be fair to yourself, is like you're so busy and you're so submerged in work that that focus, you can't coach yourself.
Well, and I'm going back even before.
Yeah.
So like even before that, just kind of like life changing and kind of letting it, you know, falling off. And I never stopped lifting, but you know, injuries happened, surgeries were happening, all this kind of stuff. And, you know, as you get older, you can't out train a bad diet, you know. In your 20s, you can fake it, you know what I mean? But once you start to get in your 30s and upper 40s, you can't. So I did, you know, correct myself in a way. And get back to it. But then I got to where, and it really started, I started jiu-jitsu, and I was really big into lifting heavy as possible, getting as big as possible. Body comp was important, but it definitely wasn't the number one thing. Just because obviously it didn't make it a priority. So if it wasn't the top priority and I didn't look that way, then it wasn't a top priority. So, but lifting, you know, my deadlift, my bench, my squat, that was important to me. And then I started jiu-jitsu. And
first jiu-jitsu day, you went in at 240?
240.
240 pounds, long hair, and just got beat to shit.
Beat the shit by 18-year-old, 160-pound kids, and then 220-pound, 45-year-old men.
And he came home like
5:45 in the morning, walked in there. Didn't know my ass from a hole in the wall, and just got ripped apart. I couldn't breathe. They smacked. I mean, it was freaking horrible. But I liked it.
But you went back. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of people wouldn't go back.
I liked it a lot. And
didn't you say you sat in the car before you went in and were like, had to
I've
give
told
yourself
that
a
story.
pep talk?
I've told that story because I'm like, here I am, like I was like
37.
37. I was 37, and I literally felt like the kid walking into class for the first time, like a little child.
New kid.
That literally knows, like, at 3 o'clock, you're getting your ass kicked in the parking lot because it's your first day and you're the new kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Here we go.
Here we go. I'm going to class to get my ass kicked by the bullies. And that's exactly what happened. Anyway, so as I keep going back, through it, I'm like, all this weight doesn't serve me. Like, this is not helping me. The fact that I could deadlift X or squat X or bench this or pull this, you know.
I'll tell you this, like, not to drag you out, but like before he started working with you, I used to have to beg and drag his ass up just to get him on a 1 mile walk.
Oh, it's so
because
miserable.
it hurt him so bad to walk a mile.
Yeah. No, I can imagine that.
I mean, I was 240 and not a good 240. You know what I mean?
It's not comfortable.
It's not comfortable to walk that heavy. You know what I mean? So, anyways,
You waddle.
Yeah.
yeah, and you're like, because I'm like, what? More than 3 reps? Why would you ever do more than 3 reps? You know what I mean? Ever?
I had a slide on that today.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
That seems like cardio.
I should have put your face on that.
Yeah. You can put my fat face on there and make that a meme. But So I started jiu-jitsu, and then that's when I was like, oh, this doesn't serve me. And that's really when it started to happen. And I changed my training to more of a, I don't know,
Hypertrophy and
like almost kind of what you've done in some of my training sessions, where it's like a hypertrophy kind of functional metabolic, but not like a CrossFit by any means.
Yeah.
But more of a high intensity hypertrophy training. So I switched to that, and then I just started dieting my ass off. And eventually I got down to, I dipped down to, I think less than 6 months.
189.
189. From 240 to 189.
Well, part of it, you started doing rucking. That was like you were getting ready to train. He was training for a ruck, some ruck that he was going to do 12 miles. So he was ruck training. And when he rucks,
It was a 26 mile. It was the Baton Death March.
Well, when he rucks, it's like weight falls off of him because of how fast and how hard he moves.
Yeah, that I can do. That I can do. Not I shouldn't because of my hip.
Well, you dropped like 40 pounds that way.
It was a lot. But then started dieting my ass off, and then got down to where I was doing jiu-jitsu. When the COVID happened, I was doing jiu-jitsu like 6 days a week, plus doing the metabolic work like at least 5 times a week. That training, well, kettlebells, pull-ups, all that nonsense. And then I was doing macros because I know what I'm doing in quotations. So I was tracking, and I was like, okay, I was watching the scale and seeing I got down to 1750 at one point.
Calories.
I remember that. I was like I was doing like
189.
No. I was doing like I'm trying to think of my
your
macros.
breakdown?
It was like maybe 150 grams of protein, 150 of carbs, and then like just almost no fat at all. And that was my.
I mean, and that's not incredibly offensive because I've had guys get that low, but for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No,
I was living that way.
Yeah.
And I was fine. I thought I was fine. But then I got to where I was like, I don't look the way that I want to look. I was she was like, I don't like this.
His face was what bothered me. It's because, now he's lean as shit and he looks great and his face isn't sunken. When he was like that, his eyes were sunk in his head.
Gaunt. You look
dark
like you're
circles.
gonna die.
You look like you're going to die. And I'm like, I feel so healthy.
I love that lie we say to ourselves. I feel amazing.
But I was just pushing, through it. And anyway, so I told her, I said, listen, I am, and that was around the time I was getting other coaching for other things. And it hit me. I was like, well, why the fuck would I not get coaching for this too? You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to get a mentor to make more money or teach me how, which you've done as well. And it pays off, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, like if you want to make more money, get a fucking business coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I have one. I don't know why people don't.
Right.
Makes no sense.
Right. Move the
Yeah.
cheat codes, bro. Like cheat.
Yeah.
Find the information. They have it. And anyway, so I told her, I said, I really think that it's time for me to get an actual coach and have somebody else figure this shit out for me. Me tell them what I want. I want to do I want to look like this. I want to feel like this. I want to do these things, and let them fucking worry about it. And I'll just do that.
Better that way.
And she said, let's do it. And then that's when I hit you up. But back then I was plant-based. I was like, remember?
I remember
It's
that.
like, how do you feel about this?
So that's what I wanted you to share was all this. Go.
Yeah.
Oh, how I felt?
And how it was.
Yeah, when I reached out to you and I was like, hey, how do you feel about...
I'm sure it was like cool, but then it's like his situation.
Oh, I was like, I'm going to turn him back.
I'm gonna turn him.
I'll make him turn. I think a matter of time. Like most guys, unless it's a religious or ethical reason, over time, they end up coming back to meat just because
Which I did.
they realize it's easier to
It's easier.
plan meals and everything, but
Yeah.
they need that type of protein and everything
Yeah.
because it is difficult. And there are guys that say they feel better and everything, and they will usually for the first few months to maybe a year, and then things start going sideways, and you'll see it in labs and everything
Yeah.
too. But I would not try to turn somebody that was like adamant. I could also deter people and say I don't work with vegans, but you're different. You weren't like a true vegan, so
No. I
you
think
ate eggs and fish.
Yeah, veganism I think is a more of a
moral choice.
If
Right.
anything. My thing was completely digestive because I was having digestive problems and inflammation problems. So I was like, I need to fix that. That was the primary cause for going that direction.
Which is funny because most people who do have a lot of issues usually go on carnivore, which works very well for people with digestive issues because red meat instigates stomach acid.
Yeah.
Or brings up stomach acid, which a lot of people lack. And not having any fibrous
See,
vegetables.
I don't digest it.
Yeah. You think that.
She's like,
We'll get it back.
We're going to get red meat.
Ribeyes tonight.
Oh, shit.
I was actually, no, but I was more honored. I was like, oh, he chose me? Like, that's really cool. And then I think it was the first 6 months or so that I was like, I know he's totally questioning everything I'm doing.
100%. 100%.
So, like many men, they want to know the structure and the plan and what's going on and everything. But the goal kept changing. It was like jujitsu, and then it's like, well, I want to be lean and do photo shoot, and then it would be like jujitsu, and then something else, and then jujitsu, then something else. I'm like, we have to pick one goal, which a lot of people do because they end up wanting to do like 3 different things that are opposing like training plans.
Right.
I was like, pick one thing. What are we doing? Can we gain weight? Cool.
That was the biggest thing. That was the biggest struggle with me was letting me eat more.
Yeah.
And
Or getting you to eat more.
He
Not that I
was
didn't
so
let you.
worked up.
Yeah.
He would be so worked up. You'd never met somebody so stressed about eating more food. He was so.
well, it's because you get, especially when and my clients will listen to this, so they'll hear this, and they deal with the same thing. They get, and I deal with them the same way you've dealt with me. Is they get worried about eating more because, and like I have this one guy, Bruce. I showed you the pictures. That he was like really big, and now he's looking great. We killed Fat Bruce. Like we killed him. That guy's never coming back.
Yeah.
His life's never coming back. That routine's never coming back. So when it's time to eat more food, they get nervous that they don't want to go back to that guy. Mm-hmm. They don't want to look like that guy. They don't want to be that guy. And that was the same way with me. It's like I got out, I got heavy, and most people, they see those photos and they're like, that's not really that bad. Yeah. Perspective. It's
totally
bad for me. You know what I mean?
All that matters is how you feel about it.
Your joints, your back,
Right.
all your discs.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything sucked.
So that was the worry, is like, you're going to increase my calories. And in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm just going to go look like that guy again.
Totally logical.
But it's not.
It's not. And I think also because I felt very similar to you, like I understood where he was because I had been through that.
You said, you'd done the same exact thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And so like every time that you got uncomfortable, I'm like, oh my God, I totally get it.
Yeah.
And I try to talk you off the ledge the same way that I was, because I'm like, I get it, because it does, like, even if you gain a little weight or you feel like you're going the opposite direction, you're going to feel like you're going the opposite direction for a while because your body's like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you're actually feeding me, like letting me survive and like grow tissue and not just like take all this energy and devote it to keeping you alive. Oh, cool. It's a whole different feeling. But what I said today was like, once you do it right one time, then you're good.
You're sold.
Yeah.
I'm sold. Yeah, like that last whole year.
It takes a long time too.
And that's another thing. People don't want to take the time. Mm-hmm. Like we took over a year to fix me. Over a year.
Yeah.
And people are like, you put in, yes, man, a year. Over a year of work to get to where I'm at today. And I'm not even there.
There's people doing these 3-week, weight loss challenges, and I'm like, come join me for a year. Because that's when, like, the true.
So it's funny you say that. So we do the 30-day Agogi challenge.
30 days is more than 3 weeks.
I know, but in the challenge, I tell them I hate challenges, and I give them the exact reason why.
But that's different. Like, I think challenge may get a bad rap because people who do challenges actually involve coaching through it and all of that. It's not just like who can drop the most weight.
Yeah, but what happens is, I'd say probably, out of the finishers, the people who make it into the 30-day challenge, out of the finishers, let's say that 50% make it to the end. 40% of those, like,
keep going?
No, they don't.
Oh, they don't? Yeah.
And then they'll come back on another challenge instead of making it more of a consistent thing. You know what I mean? And that's my problem with it. And you know what? Not to throw women under the bus, but women are the worst about it.
Oh yeah.
They want to do the 30-day thing, and then they want to go back to their lives. But then they come back, and it's like the next fad diet or the next thing. Instead of just being like, listen, guys, take what you learned here and just be fucking consistent. Like, carry through. Anyways, so can you talk about? Do you even remember like my macros and calories? Do you even remember?
You mean like the highest we got you to?
No, I remember the highest. Do you remember what you did? Like, because I came in at 1750. You're like, Jesus.
I knew I couldn't put you straight at maintenance because you would flip.
What'd you want to put him at?
Like 2,500-ish.
Right out the gate, you wanted to do that?
You would have had a
because, I mean,
that would have been a lot of food coming from there, yeah. That would have been very difficult.
The first thing that happens is like, okay,
I think you put me at 21.
We were about 21 to 22.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, because I was like, it has to be enough of a jump where you're going to feel
sleep and recover.
Sleep and, performance and all that stuff. But you send somebody too high. And this is where women and myself was like really bad, where obviously you add carbs, you're going to add water weight because every gram of carb yields 1 to 3 grams of water. So it's an instant weight gain, but your mind doesn't think, oh, it's just water.
But it goes into your cells too. So you feel like,
feel huge.
Yeah.
Like the water retention. And then you stress about that, which causes more water retention. And so then you're just like, oh my God, this is not working and blah, blah, blah. And it's a big mind fuck. Reverse dieting, like that's why people reverse diet is so that they don't mind fuck themselves. But I couldn't put you straight at that because then I was like, I'll get fired as quickly as I got hired.
30 days in, this isn't working for me. I'm out.
Oh, shit. Like this is going to be a long process, but I got to sell it. So you do it strategically, but I lowered the volume of your training.
Yes.
Too. And the intensity.
Yeah, because you were like, you're going to do BJJ how much? And then so I was doing like walks, and it wasn't really that. The training sessions were really light.
Yeah.
Which initially it annoyed me, but eventually, pretty quickly, actually, I started to enjoy it because I started feeling better. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you don't, rest days for you were like rucks.
Yeah.
And stuff. And I was like, I'll let that go for now because, okay, that's better than another workout, you know. Yeah. But if you lower the volume of training and increase the calories a little bit, you're still in a deficit, but it's not as crazy. And then over time, I just started adding calories. And you would complain like anyone would. But then you started to realize, oh, this is actually the right thing to do.
And then we got up to 3,400. Yeah. Is that the max we've been at?
I think it was maybe 36. I'd have to go back and look. You were smashing like what 500-600 grams of carbs, like
something crazy. I only do it. I remember, and this is what saved me. What saved me was we found. I sent them to you. Peanut butter chocolate Cheerios.
Oh yeah.
And protein silk, the 20 gram a milligram protein silk.
So each cup had 20 grams of protein. So I did 2 cups of that. So 40 grams of protein plus 4 cups of this cereal, which was like 120 carbs, 40 grams of protein, and then like 10 grams of fat for the whole. It was this massive bowl. And that's what I was eating at night to like top off everything.
That's what I tell people to do. Because like a lot of my guys who are in that number for carbs, they're like, how do I get it? I'm like, cereal. But cereal's bad. I was like, is it? Why is it bad?
Yeah, is it?
I was like, it's freaking delicious. Like, go buy the organic ground puffed rice with like nothing in it. Fine. I'm going to eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Right.
Whatever. But that's like an easy way.
You do you, I'll do me.
Yeah. Like, I'm not afraid if there's glyphosate on it. Like, it's just a little bit. You're not going to eat cereal the rest of your life every single day. Like, whatever.
It's just for a phase.
Yeah. Because otherwise, you're going to have a really hard time. Like, if you're going to eat
much.
Like I mentioned today, when CrossFit and Paleo had a baby, like all those sweet potatoes, can you imagine eating 500 to 600 grams of sweet, like you'd be on the toilet.
There's no way it's possible.
No. So you have to get things that are easily digested, which is white rice, fruit, and candy even, or cereal, like stuff like that. So protein milk and cereal, or protein shake, like that's why they make cereal milk flavored protein powder now.
Yeah.
Pour cereal in it. So yeah. And then it's like, damn, I enjoy this. Then performance in the gym goes up, and then you're just not even like worrying about gaining weight as much because you're like, damn, I can really push weight.
Well, what's different was you know what really got me was we increased calories It wasn't up to the 3,600 yet. I think we were at like 2,800. And it was my first competition, and I had to get down below 205. And we had already gotten, you had brought me up there, and you're like, listen, I've got you. Don't worry. I think you might have been worried a little bit. I think you might have been worried a little bit. But I think I had to be under 205 or something like that. So we did the whole carb cycling thing, and you're like, okay, I'm going to bring you down. No big deal. Don't worry. But I was still eating pretty high.
Yeah. And
I'm like, you're going to be fine. We're going to do it right before. It's all water because you're a lot of carbs. You're going to drop a bunch of water, go to the sauna, sweat a little bit. So we went to Myrtle Beach, got in a sauna, and I will never forget. I think it might have been what, babe? 2-3 days she had me cut, sort of. It wasn't even really a cut. It wasn't a.
No.
You just reduced your carbs a little bit.
Reduced carbs a little bit, increased a little bit of activity, sweated a little bit, and drank a bunch of water. And I woke up that morning, and my fucking abs, I was like shredded in the mirror. And I didn't even have a scale. I didn't know how much I weighed. So I was like, oh shit. But I looked in the mirror and I was like, well, something fucking worked.
I feel like it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be okay. Anyways, so I went and weighed in, and I like overshot by like 5 pounds or something like that.
And you crushed a bunch of PB&Js.
Yeah, I was like 201 or something like that.
Took the comp.
And won.
Got your blue belt.
A month out, you were like, so I'll do no carbs for 3 weeks or something crazy. I was like, what? I was like, no. I was like, calm down. And then I think you were like 204 or something, and you're like, I have to be 205. I was like, he's 204. Like, why are we worrying? Like, am I supposed to worry?
It was a month away, Allie.
So even the week before, you're like 204.5.
Well, I'm doing that right now. I'm freaked out because I
texted like one of my friends, my friend Gabe, who trains professional fighters. I was like, he's 0.5 under. And Gabe's like, I have guys that cut 20 pounds in like one night. And I was like, okay, so I'm okay. He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay.
You shouldn't even be texting me about this conversation.
Because you were stressing me out because you were so worried. And I was like, you're like, should I go in the sauna? And I'm like, but you're under. Like, why are we so stressed?
I don't think I was under. I think I was over, but not by much.
Or if you were over, it was like a pound.
Yeah, it wasn't
like
much.
It wasn't, and then
much.
I'm just like, am I supposed to be like, so I start stressing out. And then, so I'm like, Gabe, what do I do? Like, he's like, he's a pound over or under. I don't know, but whatever.
Take a shit, dude, and chill.
Yeah. Because like even if you do 20 minutes in the sauna, that'll yield you like at least a pound.
Yeah.
So I didn't want you to overdo that because then that could impact,
dehydrate you for the comp and
your performance and stuff.
No, I did good.
You did great. You won.
Yeah.
Got your blue belt.
That was pretty cool.
So, and then after that, I think it was pretty much after that. I said, let's fucking build.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes. I was like, this is like the green light I've been waiting for. Like,
something just clicked, and I said, fuck it, let's do this.
And you were so uncomfortable, and like totally get that too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm eating 2,000 calories right now, and I'm almost 10 pounds up from my shoot. Like, I get that. But then when you start to maintain that shape, it's not so scary anymore. That's
what got me, because like I start, you go up, you build a bunch of muscle, and you cut down just like a little bit of less food. You're still like full. Mm-hmm. By no means have I been starving. Every once in a while, you've got me on a training program where I'm like, I come home like, I'm fucking starving. Get out of the way.
I'm like, good, eat.
Yeah.
But now you're not afraid to eat too.
Right. And that was the biggest thing. We did the first big cut, and I start looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, God damn, I'm built like a goddamn superhero now. And that's if I could make anybody, like, don't be afraid to, one, get a coach, and two, don't be afraid to eat. Like, it's not a bad thing. Like, but I guess there has to be a balance, right? Like, but I look at our guys, and the reason why their body comp's so messed up is because it's not because necessarily the amount that they're eating, it's the ratios of what they're eating. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know when you're on board somebody, but we did the average of everybody that on boards, 67 grams of protein per a male.
Sounds about accurate. Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Everybody's under.
But then, like, I'm talking 400 or 500 grams of carbs, 150 to 200 grams of fat.
Oh, no. See, I don't have really big people. You guys do get people who have a lot of body fat.
Because we're talking about going back to niches. Right. We have found our niche as, mainly because of Josh and I and where we are in our lives now, is fathers.
Yep.
Like anywhere from, early 30s to mid 50s. fathers and husbands that are not living the lives that they're supposed to be living. You know, that's who we're going after. And man, we've had guys. My own brother was 400 pounds. Did you see that as photos?
Probably one of the coolest transformation. We'll have to show you.
Yeah. 400 pounds. He's like 5'8".
And when he
5'8",
started,
400 pounds.
we started with Nick. He was doing keto and everything, and then he dropped all the weight. And Nick said, "I don't want you really to stress so much about lifting weights as much right now. Like, let's get some of this weight off."
Yeah.
So he switched him, got him on like just walking.
I mean, honestly, he was having a lot of issues where I was like, let's just walk.
He was walking with a cane.
Yeah.
At the time.
That's how bad it was, because he moved 400 freaking pounds. So that's, you know.
Once he got an initial 100 pounds off, Nick taught him how to lift weights again and really got him in the gym. And then he started building muscle, and then it just went.
Because he's already lifting weight when he walks.
Right. His calves. His calves.
Oh my God.
Look
like
like
a thigh.
look like they like cut him open and put a center block in and then sewed him back up.
You can tell if someone's lost a lot of weight when their calves are like giant. You're like, where'd that come from?
But anyway, so that was the biggest thing for me. It was like truly letting go of the reins, telling you like, these are my goals, and then trusting the process, trusting you to do it. Truly not saying you trust.
I don't take that lightly.
But like, you know, because people, anybody that listens knows, like, there's a difference in saying, sure, I trust you, and then like letting go completely and go, whatever you say, I'm going to do. And no matter what I look like in the mirror or what I feel like, I'm going to do this thing.
And I commended him for that, because I was like, oh, this is going to be so good. You know, because it just, like I said today, the longer that you can eat a little more, just be better off. But once you get through that, and you're pretty open about it too, where if you share the fact that like you're gaining weight, it makes it a little bit easier, because you don't feel like you're like a fraud for some reason,
right?
Because you're on social a lot.
I think that's the biggest thing with trainers, right? Is they don't. I mean, I don't know if I call it lying, but I think you feel that you're supposed to portray a certain thing, and you're supposed to have abs all the time, and it's like, well, how do you create that? I mean, you have to go through it too. Like,
totally.
Like sometimes I don't.
Yeah. And honestly, your ability to give me free reign helped me do that for my coach, Luke. I was like, all right, after the shoot, do whatever. Let's just go. Let's just go.
Let's just do it.
And I was like, all right. And I made it a game. And I'm like, let's see. Like, if the scale didn't go up, I'd get upset. Even if I wasn't really upset, I'm like, I have to be upset. Like, I've lost 1 kilo the past 2 weeks traveling, and I'm like, this is not right. Like, I'm going to get yelled at. You know, I was 60 kilos at my shoe. I was pushing 65. That would have sent me over the edge years ago.
Yeah.
But because, similar to you, I've built the muscle, I've maintained the shape. Yeah, I'm another clothing size up, but I'm smashing weight in the gym, and this is a lot of fun. And so the longer I do this, the healthier the next time I diet it'll be.
Yeah,
the better you'll look.
And the better you look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of guys think they have to lose weight or body fat because they don't feel ripped.
Yeah.
And as soon as they do, they're like, I'm too small.
That's exactly what happened to me. Like, I got down to 189. Yeah, sure, I was lean, but I didn't have the muscular build that I
You were
wanted.
very small.
Yeah.
You were shredded, but you were very small.
Yeah.
And it likely requires like the look that most people want in the realm that we want it, where even when we're fat, we have abs. We still
fuck that. I want to look like a goddamn superhero.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Action figure.
Yeah. 100%.
Likely requires more muscle.
So,
how do you get there? You eat more and you grow it.
There was this young girl that, I say young girl, I don't know how old she was, but we did the Johnny Slick's company event, and one of the girls that came was a guest of one of our employees. She goes, "You look like a G.I. Joe action figure."
And he was like almost teared up.
I was like, "Oh, yeah."
You didn't tell me that. That's awesome. That is so cool.
I was like, I don't know who you are, but we're friends. This is a lot of freaking work, man.
Kids speak the truth too.
Yeah.
So, that's awesome.
She was probably 30. I don't know.
She wasn't. She was like a 21-year-old, but still, it was awesome.
Anyways.
Yeah,
so,
but you look ridiculous. Like, guys like have commented that they want to look like you and everything. And I'm thinking like, spend a year, like, you know, just doing everything right.
Pay me, spend a year or 2 years with me, and
no big deal. Just work out every day of your life for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
4 hours a day, eat clean, follow instructions.
Somebody asked me like how long it took to get my abs, and I was like, that's such a strange question, because I'm like, I don't know, you're born with them, like, but I honestly didn't know how to answer.
You just did a post about that. Like abs are made in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah, like, okay, you do have to work them, but then I'm like, I can't like cognate like an exact time frame. I'm like, I don't know, get lesser body fat and then they'll start to pop and then you worry about the other stuff. But I was like, that's such a strange question. But, and I also forgot what tangent I was going on with that. I can't remember. Fuck.
It's all right.
What were we talking about before? We're talking about your action figure look. Damn.
So what is next? What do you, if you had, if I didn't have any goals, what would you be like? This is what I would want to do.
For you?
Yeah.
Well, it really is my goals for you. I just took a while to convince you.
You just tricked me.
Well, have you told people your goal for this December? Because I didn't mention it on purpose.
I thought you were going to, and I was like, she's going to blow this whole thing.
I tell people all the time and he gets so mad.
I was like, I haven't heard you talk about it except with Mel.
He's not excited to talk about it.
I haven't publicly talked about it.
Well, now you have to because people listening are going to be like,
I am going
look at the camera.
I am going to do a men's physique over 40 December 10th.
oh, chica, wow, wow.
Not only that, I'm going to fucking win.
But tell why.
Because that scene is not my bag. And it's obviously I respect the people that do that so much because it is so much hard work.
And restriction.
And hard work. And then like there's so many different levels. It's not just working out and dieting. It's like posing and carb cycling. And I mean, it is an enormous amount of hard work. And about my the speech that I gave today was about challenges and pushing, pushing your comfort level and always bettering yourself, whether it be our relationship, being a father, our business, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever it is. So I'm always trying to find, every year I'm trying to find a challenge. I've done the 90-day challenge. I've climbed Mount Rainier. I've done the 60 days and 30 days. I've always done little bitty challenges here and there. So this is the next one. And I was like, I've never done it. It's not my bag. It's way outside my comfort zone. So there it is.
Because it's uncomfortable.
Because it's outside of my comfort zone. Because I don't want to do it. I'm going to do it.
But can I just ask you, why specifically for you is it uncomfortable?
That's a good question.
I don't like, as people don't even understand that because I have my shirt off all the time in videos and stuff. But like being on stage in that capacity and like, doesn't even make sense to people because they're like, Nick, you make YouTube videos, you're in front of people all the time, you speak and this stuff. But to me, that is like, I don't know. It seems like it's not me.
Standing on stage, prancing around,
posing, being judged.
That's not me. I'm not into it. I don't even want to put myself in that position. So that tells me that I need to do it. Because if these are the things that I'm like scared of, or it's like outside of my reign, you know what I mean? Like, fuck that. Like, why would I be intimidated or scared or fearful or whatever you want to call it, of that thing? That means I need to go do it. Mm-hmm. Like,
I commend you for that. That's such a better reason than like, well, I want to look good by that time.
I can look good anyway.
Then do a photo shoot.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can look good. That has nothing to do with it.
No.
Like I know I can. That part is not what I'm talking about. It's the brain part. It's the internal. It's about conquering your uncomfortability with something. You know what I mean?
110,000.
So that's the reason why I'm doing it. I don't mean to be disrespectful to anybody that does that or is in that scene professionally. Like I commend them for doing it because I know not just physically how hard it is, but like mentally, like you get that lean and then you refeed afterwards, and they legitimately. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that play with like borderline eating disorders because they feel so fat even when they're like 12%, but you're used to being 4 or 5, and you get up to 12, and you're like.
Anything above that,
I'm a piece of shit.
Obese.
Yeah, I'm so I commend people that live in that and are that made careers. I mean, Branch Warren was talking today. I mean, the guy's a legend in that community. There's all kinds of people that have done that and have done amazing things and honestly changed a lot of people's lives. There's a lot of people that have been super obese and watching them, people like Daniel and Bailey and, Arnold and Coleman and Branch, and I mean, there's kids that had their posters on the wall.
I did.
You know, I had Arnold.
I had
on,
Dana in my whole gym everywhere.
Everywhere.
I had Arnold on my wall, and you know those things, and Jay Cutler, and like that. Those people, whether they want to believe it or not, they were role models to someone. So I do commend them for doing that and stuff like that. So I don't want to be disrespectful or take anything away. It's just not been my thing, and for me to do that's the reason why I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Which I think is cool. I mean, dude, it's nowhere near like the level of restriction and everything for a show, but like I felt the same in the mastermind that I'm in is all women, and I wasn't going to go on any of the live events. So it terrified me to spend 3 days or 2 days with 12 women, which I don't do. Like I rarely.
I thought it was weird that you did that, by the way.
Because it made me so uncomfortable that I was like,
I knew that you hired that lady, what's her name?
Jill Coleman.
Jill Coleman, ladies and gentlemen. Then you went to that thing, and I was like,
That's interesting.
That's odd.
And so the funny thing is, like the first day, we're all introducing ourselves, what we do, and there's this one woman, her business partner is her husband, and they do like a Pilates business or whatever. And when it came to me, I was like, I was actually going to say like, I'm glad there's another guy here. But that sounds wrong. But I get it. And like it made them laugh because I relate to dudes. But like it was just, and I honestly loved it because it was like women like Allie, like that I can relate to, you know, where
it's all independent women trying to build their businesses.
So a lot of alpha energy, like, you know, so I was like, all right, cool.
BTE.
So
big T energy.
Big T energy. Yeah. But you know, stuff like that, we're doing things that make you uncomfortable. I think as you mature and get older, it's like what the type of conquests you seek out versus more things that validate you.
Well, and then now you're talking about pleasure, right, versus purpose. But I mean, those individuals that do that are the ones that are making success or building their lives and being more successful. If you're not pushing challenges, if you're not challenging yourself and not doing hard things, well, you're not doing basically anything. There's no such thing as staying stagnant because the world's moving forward. So if you're not challenging yourself and doing hard things, you are going backwards. So you have to choose what type of person you're going to be.
I think it's great that you're doing, like, the more open you are with that.
So then with that, what's
my
the goal?
goals for you, honestly, I don't think people can gain enough muscle, contrary to like what people think a stereotype is, like too muscular.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe male bodybuilders who were like Branch, I could see people saying, oh, that's too muscular for their taste. But when it comes to your health,
Branch is jacked.
He is jacked. Like I'm like, yo, I want to look like dude, his calves, man.
Great story too, by the way.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But you really, that's the most resistant you can be to dying early is having more muscle. It makes you better tolerate food, carbohydrates, resilient against falling, breaking your hip, you know. You lose muscle very quickly if you become bedridden.
Well, and that's the reason. That's how older people, they become decrepit.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to be morbid with you, but I'm saying my goal for you would be keep you action figure, turn you into more of an action figure.
So what do you think? What are you going to raise calories to? What do I got to look forward to? See, now I look forward to it. I'm like, we're going back up to 4,000, baby, for a month.
Can we talk about last week? Like, when's December? 6 months? 7 months?
December
7
10th.
months, I think.
December 10th.
7 months?
Yeah.
So I raised his calories last week, and Nick's like, I just want to understand why we're raising calories.
No. Not understanding calories. No. Because it was an interesting play the way you did macros, and I was just, I was interested on the ratio.
He was wondering why he got a little bit of fat back.
Yeah. And like increased carbs, lower protein. I was curious what the ratio was, and it was a
because he'd
phenomenal
been so
answer.
low on fat for so long. He was kind of like getting used to it, and he's still frustrated with, but getting used to it.
Yeah.
And then you increased it, and he was like,
It throws you for a loop.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But I mean, as a coach myself and running the Agogi, I'm like, I wanted to understand.
Right,
which is another reason why a coach should have a coach. Because
because you learn how they do things, and like I do the same thing with Luke.
It's great. And if you have a problem, hey, I have a problem. Can you help me?
crack this nut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like with BJJ programming, am not someone
Which
to be
Luke,
I know BJJ. Yeah.
yeah.
Like, no, I'm like, hi, Luke. Can we get on a Zoom and go over like what I'm doing with this? And
which, by the way,
been
just
tremendous.
FYI, it's like been phenomenal because you've done that and you've implemented so much single leg work into my structure and stuff. Almost every girl I roll with is like, what the fuck are you doing with your legs? You just threw me across the room. That was fucking.
She puts that in True Coach.
People tell me like, you feel like a monster. Are you just eating all the time? Like, what's happening? And,
men say this to her.
yeah.
Like, how cool is it? Both of you now are like, I want to get jacked. I want to tear people apart and choke them. Like,
That's what we do.
You know,
On our date nights, we go fight other human beings and have tacos after.
see, I think that's the coolest thing. Like Charlie, let's go jujitsu, and he's like, but I think that's
Sweet.
cool.
So calories. What do you think we'll get to before we start?
Probably another 500 or so.
So not that much.
Not crazy.
Okay.
No, because this is your first show, so I do want to play with, like I was telling you last night, like some refeeds, see how that works for you, deplete a little bit, see how you respond to it.
Yeah.
Because
now
we don't want to play with that right before.
And I'm gonna have to. It's gonna hurt to say, but I'm gonna have to start doing less jiu-jitsu as I get closer to the show.
I mean, you can do it. You're just going to be really tired.
Yeah, well,
your risk of injury is going to be high.
Yeah, and that's what Mel said. Mel was like, "You listen, man. Like you're going to be real tight. Everything's going to be real tight, and you don't want to pop a bicep or pop something." And he's like, "Trust me, I've done it." Sid did it. Like you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like
no.
It won't, and that's like as we get closer. Yeah.
We'll assess your leanness in the next couple months.
Yeah.
But I would say no longer than 5 months, but no shorter than 4.5, 3.
Okay.
To start your prep.
Yeah.
So
so long and slow.
Yeah, but right now the goal is get the calories up.
Yep.
Enough to where we have places to pull from.
Are we gonna get it high enough to where I could go back on the cereal, the cereal game?
Yes, probably.
Game train.
Yes.
I want to do that. At least once this year. Let's get high enough to where I can have my evening snack.
One of the coaches that works for me, I have him at 550, and I was like, just put cereal in everything you eat. So he put it in the blender, and then put like the cereal milk he made in cereal, and I was like, oh my god, like these kids. But you have to do it, whatever you have to. Like sushi is great. That's why bodybuilders love sushi.
Yeah.
Because it's very dense. Like sushi rice.
Right.
Is like a little thing of nigiri is like a cup somehow.
Yeah.
But.
All right.
Gotta go.
All right. Where can people find you?
People can find me on the IG at the Ali Gilbert.
Oh, I thought it was themusclebarbie.com.
That too. For the after
I don't know if you
hours
should Google that.
Services. Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's probably a real thing.
Like Bang Energy. Don't go to Bang. But that's primarily where I post most of my content, so people can.
And you're back
there, and I'm back
from the ban.
I am back.
She got banned from talking about men's health and boners. Go figure, right?
I know, right?
They don't. IG doesn't want it.
But if we were naked, bent over, showing the birth canal,
That's okay.
fine.
That's allowed.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Just don't talk about men being men
No.
and boner health. Yeah.
So hit me up, slide in the DMs.
All right. Well, this has been good, and I cannot wait to have Charlie on. You might have to come on as the
Mediator.
Yeah.
as the mediator. Like
Translator.
what he really means to say is eat your veggies and meat and lift heavy
You
weights.
really think I know how to interpret that? Like, I'll be like,
Well, anyways, guys, tag Allie, tag Allie. Tag Always Forward Podcast and myself. We'll share this stuff out there, and hopefully this helps somebody. And hit her up if you want to hire her as a coach. She's got a link. Oh,
I do.
Testosterone School, real quick.
Oh yeah, and I have a course.
Yeah,
on
go.
everything testosterone. If you want to learn how it's made, who's it for, how you can optimize it through fitness and nutrition, and the basics of TRT. All your questions about the scary things about TRT and all the good things, which there are many.
There you go. All right, guys. Until then, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Out.